Howdy, welcome back to my channel. This is Diana Chu here of Slow Gaze. I come to you kind of with an update because it's been a while since I've filmed on YouTube. I mean, I put out a video just a few weeks ago, or I'm not sure when this launches, but I put out a video recently just showing you what was in my makeup bag, kind of just to dip my toes back in the water of doing this. Super rusty. It's been a while since I've even thought about filming, but I felt the tug deep inside my heart to return to this platform, but also to just like the conversation, and I'm back. So I thought it'd be really good to update you on a few things. Maybe they're top of mind, maybe you've been wondering whether or not I'm still a minimalist, how much makeup I still have, what brought me back, how has life been. I also have a lot of people coming to this channel because of my video that went kind of viral, I think, for such a small person, on YouTube, for such a small channel on YouTube. It was a video about quitting my 9-to-5 corporate job, leaving a Fortune 500 company, and you know, how has life gone since then? So let's dive in. I'm just gonna keep this really casual. It's really good to be back here and kind of telling you about my life. But obviously, I'm a person who's leading a life that's off of the internet and kind of have one little paw in the internet sphere. I have a little slice of world that I've built called Slow Gaze. So know that I'll try to like update you the best I can and share what I want. But it's also like trying to keep it personal and just kind of find that boundary. So let's dive in. Are you still a minimalist? Well, yeah, I was just asked this. I like this question because I still consider myself an essentialist. Let me put more context to that word. I've always been more about, especially on this channel, but also in life, about slowing down and gazing inwards. We spend so much time, and myself included, on looking for external, not just validation, but for external things to relate to identify with, to really seek the world that is curated and colorful. And I mean, that's why spectacles and drama is so popular and why that gets so much traction. But I think the real work is turning inwards, gazing inwards, and seeing what is inside, what we really are discerning. We're creative people, we're problem solvers, we are flexible, and we have huge imaginations, and we have such personal qualities that why don't we celebrate them more, you know? It can get lost with all the noise that we kind of load ourselves with. And so I am all about slowing down, gazing inwards, and seeing really what is cutting through the noise. So in that way, I think I'm an essentialist, because anything that is essential to me, whether or not I found it from a Pinterest lookbook, and then that led me to a link, and I bought the thing, and the thing is beautiful, and I put it on my nightstand. It doesn't matter necessarily how it comes, as long as it's still in line with your values. For instance, I'm not shopping on Temu, I am not shopping on Shein. I am very much conscious of what I'm doing and being mindful, but I'm really curating kind of what's good for my lifestyle, my budget, my current stage in life. It's not having the best of the best. It's not living through just an aesthetic filter. It is living through what is essential as a necessity, but also as something that I really love to my life. Minimalism, I think, is a nice framework for what can, just help you get to that point of essentialism. Because yes, as you kind of whittle down to the essentials, you are whittling down to the minimal amount, right? So it feels like they're one and the same. They're very much overlapped. I think they're intertwined. There's a lot more content on minimalism out there that I think is, more searchable. And so I like to tag minimalism and kind of work in the sphere of minimalism, but then I consider myself more of an essentialist. So yes, I am still both of those things. I think if you are wondering how much makeup I have, I was taking notes. Let's do some quick math here. So I have 3 mirror compacts, 5 lip gloss / lip balms, 5 lip liners, 7 lipsticks, and 2 eyeshadows, meaning 1 eyeshadow or a palette, 1 eyeliner, 1 mascara, 1 eyeshadow primer, 2 brow things, 5 blushes, 3 glowy multi-use color products, kind of like the Jones Road Beauty Miracle Balms, and 1 concealer / foundation. So right now the count is 36 items. I've gotten way more into makeup recently, just like getting back into that idea of play, into womanhood, and reclaiming my personhood because I'm a new mom. I don't know if you knew this, but I am 7 months postpartum, almost 8 months tomorrow actually. So I have a lovely kiddo at home, and I'm learning to be more gracious with myself, but also like more proud of my body, which means I am way more into growing up and knowing what it means to age gracefully for myself, knowing how to present as a mother figure, as someone who knows themselves. You know, I think I really can see the break between the pre-baby Diana and the now what am I, who am I, let's focus on the baby obviously, but also focus on who I am and who I'm growing into kind of line. That division is kind of stark in my mind, and it was almost like having a child is life-changing. It's unprecedented. It feels like something that you just cannot really predict how you're going to react necessarily, but it was also for me permission to be more fully fledged, to be more of a woman, to be honest. And I don't think that everybody has to have a child to know this. It just felt like a demarcation and like almost like a permission slip for myself to feel like I can really be who I want to be. And I think being an essentialist and a minimalist and being almost 35, I'm going to be 35 in 2 days, I think it's now the stage in life where I've been, practicing this like way of thinking. I've been budgeting, I've been really looking inwards, and I'm way more careful with what I buy. I know my preferences, I know my like colors, my color analysis, like I'm a winter. I've just dabbled in so many things. If you've watched my declutters, you know how much I've dabbled in these things, and that certainly got out of hand. But it's nice to know that looking back, that was not just futile or not just for content. It was really, I think in my 20s and late 20s even, I was really going through some sort of tumult, trying to figure out who I was, trying to figure out who I wanted to be. And it comes with play. It's a mess. You kind of just touch on everything, and then you slowly pull back and edit. And as your sensibilities get sharpened, you kind of see yourself clearer. And I really feel that way now. So thank you for letting me give that kind of space away from YouTube, because near the end of YouTube, like my last kind of chapter, I was definitely figuring out how to be an entrepreneur. So that's the other question that I wanted to answer. What do you do for a living? I don't obviously just make content. I am a content creator, but I don't just do that for a living. I make chump change off of ads through this channel. I just happen to love doing what I do, so it's nice to get compensated, but it doesn't pay all of my bills, obviously. I'm actually a designer, an art director, a creative director, I'm an illustrator, I'm a printmaker, I'm a bookmaker, I'm a drawer, you know, I'm an artist, and that's what I do for a living, and I love what I do for a living. And ever since 2021 in June, I quit my high-paying job. At least for me, it was high-paying, and I decided to build my own business. So I'm self-employed, still am, and I'm really proud of that fact. And I work with my husband. He is also self-employed. Together, we are owning and running our own business. We do printmaking, we do artist books, we illustrate and self-publish our own work, but we also work with artists and other businesses and like-minded community partners to make work. We are able to kind of live on our own time, on our own, you know, responsibilities, with our own kind of charge, and I feel really, really grateful for that. Also now with our kid, I'm able to like spend a lot of time at home, kind of caregiving, but also being flexible for like a doctor's visit or like going to the park or something. It feels really great that I can use this time to build my business, but build my home life It's not for everyone. This is not a follow-up for that video that I talked about quitting my job and all of those little like intricacies that are a lot more focused on career and whether or not you should quit your job. For me, it was the right choice, but this is definitely a life that I don't see everyone doing. I think it's only for people who, you know, have looked inwards and think that this is the risk that they want to take. It's certainly a risk, but everything is actually in this world, and I think this is very much worth it to me and my husband. Not to get defensive or like to feel like I'm really kind of here to defend my lifestyle. I just am really proud of it and really excited to share that like we are doing well enough that I can continue to kind of flex and play and see whether or not I wanted to return to YouTube or, you know, so this is another topic or another question. Are you starting a nail polish line and why? I think that's a really great way, like a segue from saying that like everything that I love to do as an artist, I've been interested in visual culture, drawing, playing with my hands, and creating things from scratch since I was like 5 years old, even earlier, but like I have always loved spending my own time to build my own worlds. And that has always been my number one passion. And so I've had experience kind of in the apparel industry, in nonprofits, I've been graphic designing, I've been in the auto industry, I've built things for heritage brands and been on sets, and it's all been really fun. But the biggest thrill for me is to actually like have something of my own like world, like bringing something to fruition from start to finish, from soup to nuts, if you will. And so yes, I'm starting a nail polish line. I was thinking that it was going to be kind of hush-hush until it kind of really launched, but the more you can bring pals and friends and people along, I think unveiling some of that behind the scenes is really special. More about nail polish specifically, it's the best ritual that I can have that gives myself like a little bit of time at home, 10-15 minutes, to totally empower myself and like transform how I feel, how I stand, how I walk, how I present myself to the world. It makes me feel instantly polished. It lasts for days versus like putting on eyeliner and that lasting for like a day. I think nail polish, because it's like pure in that it's color and its texture and it just plays with light. It's something that we're drawn to as humans and we have emotional responses to. If I wear like a hot blaze orange, red, neon vermilion, you know, that would give me a whole different emotional response versus like this icy baby blue that gives you this like Lana Del Rey kind of old school vibe, you know. So I'm really excited to be able to bring my expertise as an artist, as a looker, as someone who's interested in visual culture, and all of this kind of just like back end color theory understanding with this ability to kind of connect with you and something that I can share. Like I really think that there's nail polish out there in the world, but mine will be made in France. We're using 21 free ingredients, meaning that because it's made in France, everything is governed by the EU, and it has a lot more strict guidelines for what can or cannot be in cosmetics in the European Union versus in the States. That's why I went with someone who has like kind of the highest standards, because I want it to be as non-toxic, as ingredient good as possible. And so it's really high luxury stuff. There's this Italian bottle and glass and packaging company that I'm supplying through, and I'm so excited to share more with you. We're actually at the stage of color matching my very first color, and true to this kind of whole ethos that we have here on the channel, this is going to be slow. Like I am thinking that I'm not going to go more than like 20-30 shades ever. I think it's going to be a really edited and thoughtful addition to anyone's wardrobe, but especially people who are super discerning, probably like you, who know they want to wear color without like wearing color, you know? This is definitely for people who love to express themselves, but also sometimes don't want to walk into a room and, you know, your nail polish is the first thing that speaks. Like, there's so much nail art and kind of nail trends out there. I mean, I'm not abreast of that even, but like long nails are super big right now. Same with like just all these special finishes and whatnot. I'm sticking to cremes. I'm sticking to opaque, beautiful, dialed in colors that'll make you feel really good, but also look really good and matches, you know, your wardrobe that is also probably pretty edited, and it's just super nuanced, good color. Like, think about walking into like a paint store for your house, even just that wall of swatches at like a Home Depot or a warehouse, where you're picking a home color paint to paint your bathroom. Like, you want it to be something that you're going to love every day, but also works with the furniture, with the lighting. And I think house paint is kind of interesting because it's like really dialed in colors. Like, they're really muted, they're hard to describe. It's not just like out of the paint tube kind of colors, because people who develop paint colors for your house really have to understand lighting and scale and all this stuff. Whereas nail polish, I think there are people out there who are thinking about this, but because it's such a small area, it's on a drugstore shelf and it's competing with all of this like fabulous spectacle, it's really hard to not just want to buy the bright teal, you know, or the turquoise or the like hot pink or something that's really gonna catch you and give you an instant boost, like mood boost. But I think there aren't enough dialed in colors. It's really funny because it does seem like, oh, if you walk into a drugstore, you can find any color under the sun, but it's actually really hard to find super nuanced, really muted colors that look good with skin and with certain wardrobes. So that's kind of the ethos. Like, I want to share really high-end, beautiful performing, like luxury nail polish with you that's also super as non-toxic as possible. Like, if you look at any of the big brands out there, even some of the indie ones here in the States, they're like 8 free or 11 toxins free. I'm aiming for 21 free, so at least double the mainstream nail polish out there, but it's going to be as high quality, if not better performing. I also want this to be slow, so I'm not going to just throw out like collections that have like 4 or 5 nail polishes in them. I'm going to do one color at a time. One color is going to be so carefully done that I'm going to be able to move on to the next color and slowly kind of roll them out. So it's going to be my own thing. Like, I'm really excited to do something kind of unheard of like that. It's not a profit grab, you know, it's not for anyone else, but for myself and for people who are kind of like me, maybe. So, final thoughts before we wrap up here. I want to leave this on like a high note, you know, something super positive and a little fluffy, you know, because yeah, you've seen me through this journey. Maybe you've seen more of my content. I've filmed in my upstairs bedroom, which is now the nursery, so I can't film in there anymore. I've filmed in my living room, also really difficult to film at home. I've filmed in like just a bunch of different places now with my videos, so I'm hoping, because I'm moving studios and my business is able to kind of shift, we're moving a few things physically, equipment, like out of our space now into a different studio space. So after that move, I hope to carve out just my own little special space to call Slow Gaze, and hope that it kind of expands with my nail polish line, which will also be under Slow Gaze. So you can actually go to slowgaze.com if you are interested to hear more about that. I'm not gonna talk your ear off about the nail polish line more than I already have, but if you want to know when we launch first, go to slowgaze.com and you can sign up to hear all about it. But anyway, I want to be able to give myself a dedicated space again to have like a nice background. Not that this beautiful slate blue and overhead light isn't beautiful, but that's why I'm sitting so close to the camera right now, because the overhead light is quite strong. What am I excited for in 2025? Getting back to culture that promotes like being in person, like in-person gathering still feels like the answer. I don't know what else to say. Like, it could be dinner parties, it could be something that's not so curated, just like potlucks, you know, not just like a dinner party, like, oh, I have to throw this whole thing. It's more like, hey, come over. I have a kid. She's not sleeping through the night. You have a kid maybe, or a dog, or you want to bring whatever snacks you have in the pantry that are already open, like come on over. Like, it can happen easily, and I want that, and I'm excited about that, especially as summer is coming. I'm excited for bronzer, wearing bronzer, and I'm excited for talking more about makeup in a really like targeted way. I'm excited for, this like neo-minimalism, where it's, at least what I'm going through is like, I'm not just wearing basics anymore. I'm not wearing just like really capsule wardrobe stuff. Like, I have a little personality to my wardrobe, and I still have things that I love and feel good in, and I'm excited for like a return to personal style. I'm excited about watching White Lotus. I haven't started. I loved Severance this past season. Let's see what else I've been reading. Oh, someone sent me a book in the mail without any like return address or who it's from or like what's going on, so thank you. I'm excited to read again. I've been going to the library a lot, but mostly for research for the nail polish line, thinking about color theory and fashion and what makes an icon, and bottles, and bottle design and perfume design, and like the great fashion houses, and just seeing kind of like what the thinking is around these behemoths from the beginning, not from like now they're all under LVMH, like I wanted to know at the start what was the seed for the artist to create this idea, of a brand. So I've been doing a lot of research. I've been, getting back to the library. That's been really exciting. And I think 2025 will hopefully surprise us. It's already March. But I think if we just kind of slow down and do the hard thing, take it slow, take it outside, it'll be okay. I am also traveling a lot this year for work, and so I'm excited to update you kind of on Instagram about that. But for now, we're gonna leave this here, and I just want to thank you for being here. Thanks for letting me know what you wanted to hear about. If you have any other questions for me, hit me up down below. Just leave a comment, and I'll see you in my next video. It's so good to be back, and slow gaze and slow down and gaze inwards as always. I always don't know how to end these things. I could just shut it off. I'm back.